the skit. I had to find him. It's like,
Mi
Danny,
compañero me dejó después del drama, lo tuve que ir a buscar.
Danny, I need you, bro.
Danny, te necesito.
You know, I am humbled and honored that Pastor Denise stepped to me 3 weeks ago.
Estoy agradecido y es un honor para mí que la pastora Denise se acercó a mí hace 3 semanas
And she says, we're going to do Pastor Appreciation Day on the 21st.
y me dijo que el 21 de octubre vamos a hacer la apreciación al pastor.
And I want you to speak. And I'm like, okay.
Y yo quiero que tú des la palabra y yo me quedé, ok.
Because there's so much that one could say about a person that you've known for over 30 years.
Hay bastantes cosas que puedes decir por una persona que has conocido por más de 30 años.
Most especially somebody that you've seen morph and change over those 30 years.
Especialmente alguien que has visto cambiar durante esos 30 años.
You know, when I first knew the pastor, I was a youngster. I knew it was around 30 years ago, but Hermana Ani just helped me out when she was like, it was 32 years ago, and we was at the church at the same time, so.
Cuando yo conocí al pastor, yo era bien joven.
Thank you, hermana, now I know.
Yo sabía que era como hace 30 años, pero la hermana Ani me ayudó que fue hace 32 años.
That means I was 11 years old.
Eso significa que yo tenía 11 años.
Wow. And I'm proud to say I'm 43 today because I know I look 30. Thank you, All Stars.
Soy orgulloso de decir que tengo 43 años porque yo sé que me veo de 30. Gracias, All Stars.
But, you know, amen. But when I think about Pastor Victor
Pero cuando pienso en Pastor Victor,
from back then,
el Pastor Victor de los 80,
I remember him being a very astute, straight, very religious looking.
recuerdo que era un hombre recto, que se veía muy religioso.
For those who don't know him from back then, he was quick to send you to hell.
Los que no lo conocían anteriormente, rápido él te mandaba al infierno.
The man was just plumb full
Él era muy fuerte
of religion.
y estaba lleno de religión.
But that's not the man you see today.
Pero ese no es el hombre que tú ves ahora.
The man you see today
El hombre que tú ves hoy
is more full of relationship.
está lleno de la relación.
And when I think of what I appreciate,
Y cuando yo pienso en lo que yo aprecio,
I think what I appreciate more is that he walks the talk.
lo que yo más aprecio es que él hace el caminar.
He doesn't just talk the talk.
Él no solamente habla.
There are a lot of preachers and pastors in this world today that say a lot of things, but their lifestyle reflects something different.
Hay muchos pastores y predicadores que dicen muchas cosas, pero el estilo de vida refleja algo diferente.
But thank God that's not my pastor.
Pero gracias a Dios, ese no es mi pastor.
And the other thing that's kind of interesting is the way he has multiplied himself
Y algo que es bien interesante, la manera que él se ha multiplicado
in his son,
en su hijo,
my other pastor.
mi otro pastor.
Which I find is interesting because when people say, oh, what church you go to?
Y yo lo que encuentro esto interesante cuando la gente me pregunta qué iglesia voy.
Before, I would always tell them where I went, and who's your pastor? Oh, it's Pastor Vic. Pastor Victor
Y
Concepcion.
antes yo le decía dónde yo venía y le decía era el pastor Víctor Concepción.
Because I've known Drew since we were kids, so he was just my boy Drew.
Porque yo conozco a Andrew desde que éramos niños, así que él, mi amigo Drew.
But now I find myself more and more, who's your pastor? My pastor is Andrew Concepcion.
Y ahora me encuentro más y más que ¿quién es tu pastor? Y yo me refiero a Pastor Andrew Concepción.
And then I feel like I can't leave Pastor Vic out, so I'm like, well, my senior pastor is Pastor Victor, and then his son is taken, and I got this whole story.
Y no puedo dejar a mi otro pastor atrás, Pastor Victor. Él es el pastor que ha estado ahí más tiempo, pero él le pasó la batuta a su hijo y cuento esta historia.
And almost as soon as I say it, like
Y cuando lo digo,
that senior pastor,
eso de que ese pastor que ha estado ahí por
which
bastante
you guys
tiempo,
have kind of made me start saying, because you call him senior pastor.
ustedes me han hecho decir eso porque ustedes le llaman ¿se puede decir? Pastor anciano.
I don't like it exactly. That's why, because it sounds
Eso a
like
mí
the
no me
old
gusta
pastor,
porque es como un pastor viejo,
the elder.
el anciano.
You know, and I you know what? I don't see him as the older pastor
Yo no lo veo como el pastor
or
anciano.
the senior pastor, if you will. I see him more of bishop,
Yo lo veo más como un obispo.
and Not for the title, because
Pero no solamente, no por el título.
I thank God that he's not one that likes to add all these titles onto his name. 'Cause
Yo le
my
doy gracias a
goodness,
Dios de que él no es alguien que se quiere llenar de títulos.
I don't think I can keep up.
Yo no sé si pueda mantener eso.
Bishop, prophet, pastor.
Obispo,
No,
profeta,
it's just too
pastor,
much.
es demasiado.
But his lifestyle
Pero su estilo de vida,
shows
pero su estilo de vida muestra
that of a bishop.
de un obispo.
And if you think about what a bishop truly is, it's not just somebody who kind of is over a bunch of churches.
Y cuando piensan que es un obispo, no es alguien que está sobre varias iglesias,
But a bishop is one who has a covering over the pastors that are under them.
pero un obispo es alguien que tiene una cobertura
It's-
sobre los pastores que están bajo él.
It's more one of a spiritual father.
Es como un padre espiritual.
And he has definitely been that in my life.
Y él definitivamente ha sido eso en mi vida.
And he is that in other pastors' lives.
Y él es eso en otros pastores.
And more you're seeing pastors that are reaching out to him saying, hey, I need a spiritual father.
Y más hay pastores que están tratando de contactarlo porque necesitan un padre espiritual.
So I'm gonna stop calling him senior pastor. And
Yo
we're
lo
just
voy a
gonna go with
dejar
Bishop.
de llamar el pastor anciano
And we're just going to go with Bishop.
y nos vamos a ir con obispo.
And if I'm out of line, then I'm sure he'll let me know, dude, stop calling me Bishop.
Si a él no le gustó, yo estoy seguro de que él me va a decir, deja de hablarme así.
But I just wanted to say what I felt,
Pero solo
my
quería
heart,
compartir lo que yo siento en mi corazón
about my pastor.
sobre mi pastor.
And really, the biggest thing for me is that the fruit of the Spirit is evident in his life.
Lo más grande para mí es que el fruto del Espíritu es evidente en su vida.
And before I go too deep,
Y antes de ir profundo,
anybody carry the Bible app on their phone?
quien tiene
Anybody?
la aplicación o
Do
la
you have the
Biblia,
U version?
los que tienen la aplicación YouVersion,
If you have the U version of the Bible app, I
Sí.
don't know if you're familiar.
si tienen la YouVersion de la Biblia, si lo tienen en su electrónico,
Go ahead and open it up,
ábranla,
because my man back there,
porque mi amigo,
who we affectionately call
mi
the
hermano,
Ninja,
a quien le llamamos el ninja,
that's his techie name, we're going with it.
ese es su apodo tecnológico.
He's taken the liberty to go ahead and add to the YouVersion app all of the verses I'm going to be speaking of today.
Él ha agregado en esa aplicación todos los versos que voy a hablar el día de hoy.
And even verses that I'm not going to quote, but
Y-
I'll be mentioning of,
Hay algunos versos que voy a mencionar.
because I don't want you to get misconstrued that my words are my words.
No quiero que piensen que mis palabras son mis palabras,
But they're the words of God, and so
pero es
you're
la
going
palabra de Dios.
to find those references in there. So if you just open up that app, at the bottom you'll see the little 3 lines on the right-hand side,
Si abren esa aplicación van a ver los 3 puntos al lado derecho, en la parte de abajo.
and you go ahead and tap on that,
Y si abren eso,
and then you'll see events.
y si ven eventos,
And if you tap on events,
y si aprieta eventos,
as long as your locations are on,
si la localidad está encendida en su teléfono,
you'll see Defenders Faith Center should be the first one that pops up,
va a ver que Defenders Faith Center va a ser el primero que va a salir.
and it says it's live.
Y va a decir que está en vivo.
So go ahead and touch that, and you're going to get what's going on today, what we're going to be speaking on today.
Si van a eso, van a ver lo que vamos a estar hablando el día de hoy.
And you'll see the passage that we're going to be speaking on. So now that I've done my free commercial break,
Después de este comercial,
I just want to talk about what we're going to talk about today. So
quiero hablar de lo que vamos a hablar el día de hoy.
the fruit of the Spirit is evident in my pastors. It is in their everyday
El
lives.
fruto del Espíritu es evidente en mis pastores, está en el día a día de
It
ellos,
is in their walk,
está en su caminar,
not just their talk.
no solamente en su
And
hablar.
the fruit of the Spirit that I'm speaking of is what you will find in Galatians 5, which we're not going to look up right now,
Pero el fruto del Espíritu de que yo estoy hablando lo van a encontrar en Galatas 5, pero no voy a hablar de eso en este momento.
because that's not really what I'm talking about. I'm just kind of trying to set the scene of where we're going
No
here.
estoy hablando de eso exactamente, pero quiero enseñarles la escena para dónde voy.
So if you're not 100% familiar, study it later. It's kind of very interesting. But the fruit of the Spirit, there's 9 manifestations of the fruit of the Spirit.
Pero si no están familiarizados con esto, estúdielo en su casa y son 9 los frutos del Espíritu.
So it begins with love,
Comienza con amor,
joy,
gozo,
peace,
paz,
long suffering,
sufrimiento,
kindness,
amabilidad,
goodness,
bondad,
faithfulness,
fe,
gentleness,
gentileza
and finally self-control.
y control propio.
And all 9 of those manifestations of the fruit of the Spirit
Y todas estas 9 manifestaciones de del fruto del Espíritu
is something that you see evident in the life of that man.
es algo que es evidente en la vida de ese hombre.
And Jesus says, don't believe everybody who says they're a prophet that they're rolling with me.
Y Jesús dice, no le crean a cualquiera que dice que es un profeta,
But you will know them, like them as in my people,
pero lo van a conocer a ellos, así como conocer a mi gente, a
those
quien
that I
pertenecen a
call
mí,
my own.
los que yo llamo que me pertenecen,
You will know them by their fruits.
pero lo van a conocer por sus frutos.
So I'm going to set the scene for you, okay?
Vamos a hablar de la escena.
So we have Jesus.
Tenemos a Jesús.
And we're going to go to the book of John, so those who want to kind of start going where we're going.
Vamos a ir al libro de Juan, a los que quieren ver para dónde vamos.
The scene is being set. It kind of starts in chapter 13 for me here.
Comienza en el capítulo 13 para mí.
I'm not going to read it, just letting you know where we're at.
No lo voy a leer, pero les quiero hacer saber
But
para
here
dónde
we have
vamos.
Jesus.
Pero aquí tenemos a Jesús.
And the Father has revealed to him
Y el Padre le ha revelado a él
that it's his final hour.
que es su hora final.
Like he is about to go through the worst torture that a person could probably endure.
Él va a pasar por la peor tortura que alguien puede pasar,
That is going to lead up to ultimately his fleshly death.
que va a hacer la muerte de su carne.
Could you imagine what it would be like if you knew that in about an hour you're done?
Imagínate lo que es para ti saber que dentro de una hora va a ser el final.
What would you do?
¿Qué vas a hacer?
I'm
¿Qué
going to
harías?
die. I'm going to start to die. My process of death is going to start
El proceso de mi muerte va a comenzar
in about an hour.
en como una hora.
That's not a whole lot of time.
Eso no es mucho
So
tiempo.
what does Jesus do?
¿Qué es lo que hace Jesús?
He gathers his people around,
Él quiere a sus discípulos
his
alrededor,
disciples, the ones that he finds to be closest to him.
a los que Él está más cerca.
And he's taken this last hour or so to really be intimate with them.
Y esta última hora Él está tomando para ser íntimo con ellos.
He has taken this last hour of his life, his last hour of freedom, if you will, to impart on them everything that he wants to make sure that they understand.
Si lo ven, esta última hora de libertad que Él tiene, Él quiere que ellos entiendan.
He eats supper with them.
Él toma la última cena,
He washes their feet.
le lava los pies,
He washes their feet.
le lava los pies.
And they were even like, yo, what are you doing? You
Y
can't
ellos,
be washing my feet.
y ellos estaban, ¿qué tú estás haciendo? No puedes estar lavando mis pies.
But he's like, no, the greatest has to be the least.
El más grande tiene que ser el último.
Understand what I'm saying to
Tienen
you.
que entender lo que les estoy diciendo.
And in this time of intimacy, in this hour or so,
Y en esta hora, en esta intimidad,
it is revealed to him, and he reveals to them that one of you are
Es
going to
revel-
betray me.
es una revelación para Él. Y Él le revela a ellos que uno de ellos lo va a traicionar.
So then they start, somebody's going to betray him. Who's going to betray him?
Y
Who's it
ellos
gonna be?
comienzan a tratar de adivinar quién va a ser, quién lo va a
It's
traicionar.
going to be you. Are you going to betray him?
¿Tú lo vas a traicionar?
They start asking each other.
Se comienzan a preguntar.
And his beloved, Simon Peter,
Pero su amado Pedro,
he was a slick one. He comes up to Jesus, so Jesus,
él quería saber y le dice, Jesús,
who's going to betray you?
¿quién te va a traicionar?
And Jesus probably just looks at him and smiles, and he says,
Y probablemente Jesús lo ve y sonríe.
just pay attention.
Presta atención.
Whoever I give a piece of bread to after dipping it,
A quien yo le dé un pedazo de pan después de
that's the
mojarlo,
one that's going to betray me.
es el que me va a traicionar.
And the scene goes on, and Jesus is sitting, he's eating, and then he
Y
dips
él
his bread,
continúa y moja su pan
and he hands a piece of bread to Judas Iscariot.
y le pasa el pan a Judas Iscariote.
And then he says to Judas Iscariot,
Y le dice a Judas,
do what you're going to do. Hurry up with it.
haz lo que vas a hacer y apúrate.
And Judas Iscariot, he's gone now. He leaves the scene. He's out of the room
Y Judas se va.
because the process has started. He went to go do what he's going to do.
El proceso comienza y él fue a hacer lo que tenía que hacer.
And Jesus is having this intimate time because now Judas is on his way to start that process.
Y Jesús está teniendo esta intimidad con los demás discípulos porque Judas está comenzando el proceso.
So he knows his time is running out.
Él sabe que el tiempo se está acabando.
I gotta tell these people, I gotta tell my closest ones what I need to tell them.
Yo les tengo que decir a los que están más cerca de mí lo que le tengo que decir.
And he starts to tell them, I'm gonna go to a place.
Y les comienza a decir, yo voy a ir a un lugar.
And this time you can't come with me.
Y esta vez tú no puedes venir conmigo.
And I can imagine his disciples like, what do you mean I can't? I've been coming with you everywhere you go for the last 2-3
Me
years.
imagino que los discípulos estaban confundidos. Yo he estado contigo los últimos 3 años.
Pues
¿Por qué no puedo ir?
But he says, don't worry, you'll be with me again. You just can't come with me now.
No te preocupes, tú vas a estar otra vez conmigo, pero en este momento tú no puedes venir conmigo.
And then he says, I'm gonna give you a new commandment.
Y él dice, te voy a dar un nuevo mandamiento.
This new commandment is that you love one another
Este nuevo mandamiento es que se amen unos a otros,
as I have loved you,
así como yo te he amado a ti,
so that all will know that you are mine.
para que todos sepan que tú me perteneces a mí.
And then I can imagine now Judas Iscariot is probably getting close to those soldiers.
Judas está acercándose a los
The
soldados.
Father is constantly revealing to Jesus.
El Padre constantemente le está revelando a Jesús.
And he says to his people in this time of intimacy,
Y le dice a su gente en este momento de intimidad,
listen, all those really awesome things that you've seen me do,
todas esas cosas maravillosas que tú has
all
visto que
those
yo hago,
miracles,
todos esos milagros,
all those great works,
todos esos trabajos maravillosos,
all of that,
todo eso,
you're going to be able to do.
tú lo vas a poder hacer.
And even more than that.
Y aún más,
Why? Because I'm going to my Father.
porque yo voy con mi
And
Padre.
you're like, oh, you're going to your Father? I want to meet your Father. Who's your Father? I want to meet him.
Tú te vas a ir con tu Padre, yo lo quiero conocer. ¿Quién es tu Padre?
He's like, nah, just listen to me.
Óigame, escúchenme.
I'm going to the Father.
Yo voy al Padre.
You're going to stay here.
Tú te vas a quedar aquí.
But don't worry.
Pero no te preocupes.
When I go to my Father,
Cuando yo voy a mi Padre,
He is going to send someone to you
Él va a mandar a alguien para ustedes.
in my name
En mi nombre,
because I'm going to the Father. He'll be with you.
porque en mi nombre, porque yo voy con el
And
Padre.
that's why you're going to be able to do greater things than I've done.
Y por eso tú vas a hacer cosas más grandes de las que yo he hecho.
And now that brings us to what we're really talking about.
Y eso trae lo que realmente estamos hablando.
So we're in the book of John,
Estamos en el
and we're
libro de
now in
Juan.
chapter 15.
Estamos en el capítulo 15.
And we're going to read this passage from verses 9 through 17 one time through real quick.
Y vamos a leer Juan 15 del 9 al 17 una vez.
So just bear with me. If you're reading in Spanish, read it on your own there. I don't want to take up all your time today. We're just going to
Sí.
read it out loud in English.
Si están leyendo en español, léalo a sí mismo, lo vamos a leer solamente en inglés.
So Jesus says, as the Father loved me, I also have loved you. Abide in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will abide in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may remain in you, and that your joy may be full. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love than this is like the time is coming. I imagine by now, as he's speaking, Judas Iscariot is now like with the soldiers, and he's making the deal, the transaction, and he's on his way back, and Jesus feels it in his
El
spirit.
momento está llegando. Yo sé que Judas estaba haciendo la transacción con los soldados y Jesús puede sentir que la hora ha llegado.
And he thinks about it and he says, listen, greater love has no one than this, than to lay down one's life for his friends. And then he says, you are my friends if you do whatever I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, for all things that I heard from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you, that you should go and bear fruit, and that your fruit should remain, that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give you. These things I command you, that you love one another. That's the whole passage.
Ese es todo el verso.
Excuse my sniffles.
Sí, disculpen mis...
My body has been trying to fight me this week,
esta semana mi cuerpo ha estado peleando conmigo,
but I've been fighting back.
pero yo he peleado de regreso.
All right, so now we're gonna dissect this just a little bit so you can kind of get where I'm going. I know you're probably wondering, okay, what are we talking about here?
Vamos a analizar esto para que ustedes sepan para dónde voy.
Let's go back to verse 9.
Regresemos al verso 9.
As the Father loved me, I have also loved you.
Así como el Padre me amó a mí, yo también te he amado a
And then
ti.
he says to them, abide in my love.
Dice, permaneced en mi amor.
Verse 10 says, if you keep my commandments,
El verso 10, si guardaréis mis mandamientos,
you will abide in my love.
permaneceréis en mi amor.
Let's take a moment to talk about this word abide.
Y quiero tomar un momento de hablar de esta palabra permanecer.
To abide,
Permanecer o morar
it means to remain in a fixed state, in a stable place.
significa mantenerse en un lugar fijo,
To continue in a place.
continuar en un lugar,
It's like to stay somewhere, to live somewhere, to not leave there.
estar en un lugar, vivir en un lugar y quedarse ahí.
You know, one of my favorite vacations for our family
Una de mis vacaciones favoritas para mi familia
was a trip that we took a couple of years ago.
fue un viaje que hicimos hace como 2 años
And we rented this home,
y rentamos esa casa.
my wife and I, Mia, my daughter, and even my mother-in-law.
Todos fuimos, inclusive mi suegra,
And we packed up in a vehicle and we drove out to Florida.
y llenamos un vehículo y nos fuimos para Florida.
And we went to the Florida Keys,
Y fuimos al cabo de
Marathon, Florida. It was the middle key of all the little keys that are there.
Es el cabo que está en medio.
And it was a really beautiful home where we stayed.
Y era una casa linda.
My wife says, you know, like me for the vacation, I just wanted to go to a place where I could relax.
A mi esposa me dijo de que yo quiero una vacación que me pueda relajar.
And my wife says, well, I want a place that's just surrounded by the ocean.
Yo quiero un lugar que esté cerca del océano.
I need to be close to the ocean.
Yo
'Cause that gives
necesito
her
estar
peace.
cerca del mar porque eso me da paz.
So I'm like, okay, so we found this place
Encontramos ese lugar
in Marathon, Florida.
en el cabo de Marathon.
And when we got there,
Y cuando llegamos ahí,
it's almost like the pictures didn't really do this place any justice.
es como que las fotos no le hicieron justicia a ese lugar.
It was a beautiful 3-bedroom home,
Una casa preciosa de 3
3
cuartos,
bathrooms.
3 baños,
nice living room, fireplace,
sala, una chimenea,
private pool outside, private hot tub. I know you all like, yeah, I want to take a vacation like that, right?
piscina privada, una hot tub privada.
What was really cool about it was when you went outside in the backyard, you didn't see any other houses.
Lo que era maravilloso es que cuando uno salía en la parte de atrás no se veía ninguna otra casa.
You just saw water all around this house.
Solo se veía agua alrededor de esta casa.
And if you look over the bushes, you can see houses across the water.
Si veía sobre los árboles podían ver otras casas.
So it was a very peaceful and wonderful place to hang out.
Era bien pacífico y un lugar maravilloso para estar.
And we did relax.
Y nos relajamos
And we did have a good time.
y disfrutamos.
And when we went out to like the grocery store or whatever,
Y cuando salíamos al supermercado
and we did whatever we were going to do while we were out, we would say, let's go home.
y cuando estábamos haciendo lo que estábamos haciendo decíamos regresemos a casa.
Because for a week, it was our home.
Porque por una semana eso era nuestro hogar, nuestra casa.
What I found interesting is this place was for sale.
Lo que me pareció interesante es que ese lugar lo estaban vendiendo.
And I'm kind of nosy.
Y yo soy bien presentado,
So I'm
metido.
like, man, I wonder what kind of house we're living in, really.
Y quería saber en qué tipo de casa estábamos viviendo.
And they had the sheet out front, you know, where all the listing and all the information.
Y tenían la información de la casa en la parte de
And I'm
afuera.
like, honey, yo, we are staying in a $1.3 million house.
Y dice, mi amor, nos estamos quedando en una casa de $1 millón.
Man! But you know what?
Pero ¿saben qué?
When the 10 days were over,
Cuando esos 10 días se terminaron,
we had to pack back into that vehicle
tuvimos que empacar ese vehículo
and drive back to Portage, Indiana, where I abide.
y regresar a Portage, Indiana, donde yo vivo.
Now, don't get me wrong, I love my home.
No me malinterpreten, yo amo mi casa.
God has blessed me beyond blessings with my home in Portage.
Dios me ha bendecido de una forma maravillosa con mi casa en
And I am
Portage.
in no way dogging my home.
Y no es que yo quiera decir que mi casa no sirve,
However,
pero
if you put my house in Portage, Indiana, which I do love,
si ponen la casa que tenemos en Portage, que me gusta,
and you put it next to this $1.3 million home in Marathon, Florida,
pero si lo ponen a la par de esta casa de $1
and you
millón de
said, where
dólares
would you prefer to live?
y me preguntan, ¿dónde prefieres vivir?
I'll probably choose Marathon.
Probablemente yo me voy para Marathon,
As long as money was not an issue, right?
siempre y cuando dinero no fuera una situación.
But what I want you to understand is abide. I abide in Portage.
Pero yo creo que entiendan que yo vivo, yo moro en Portage.
I vacationed in Florida.
Yo tomé una vacación en Florida,
So my Florida home was a vacation home.
pero mi casa en Florida es una casa de vacación.
But Portage is where I abide.
Pero Portage es donde yo vivo.
So here's Jesus in his final hour.
Y aquí está Jesús en su hora final.
And I don't know if it was your final hour what you would do, but he just wants to make absolutely sure that his closest followers understand something that he needs them to understand.
Yo no sé qué tú harías en tu última hora, pero él quiere asegurarse que sus seguidores hagan lo que y entiendan lo que él quiere que hagan.
In verse 12 of chapter 15 in the Amplified Version,
En el verso 12, en la versión amplificada en inglés,
Jesus says, "This is my commandment,
Jesús dice, este es mi mandamiento,
that you love one another,
que se amen el uno al otro,
that you unselfishly seek the best for one another,
que sean generosos el uno con el otro,
just like I have done for you."
así como yo lo he hecho por ti.
And then in verse 14, he calls us his friends.
Y en el verso 14, él nos llama a su amigo.
He says, "You are my friends if you do whatever I tell you."
Tú eres mi amigo si tú haces lo que yo te estoy diciendo.
And then verse 15,
Y en el verso 15,
as we're further dissecting this, I'm looking at the Message version on verse 15.
en la versión del mensaje, el verso 15,
He says, "I have called you my friends
yo te he llamado mi amigo
because I've let you in on everything I've heard from my Father."
porque yo te he hecho saber todo lo que yo he oído de mi Padre.
He's let us in on everything. See, he's kept nothing from us. That's a true friend.
Él no ha mantenido secretos, Él
said-
nos ha dado todo. Él es un verdadero amigo.
He put it all out on the table.
Él lo puso todo sobre la mesa.
And then verse 16, he says, "I have appointed you.
Y en el verso 16 dice, yo te he elegido,
I have appointed you
yo te he elegido a ti
so that you can go and bear fruit,
para que tú vayas a ser frutos
and that your fruit shall remain."
y que tus frutos se mantengan.
And what is this fruit?
¿Y qué es este fruto?
It's the fruit of the Spirit we were talking about what my pastor displays.
Es el fruto del Espíritu que mi pastor demuestra.
So you can bear this fruit and that it can remain.
Y para que tú puedas dar este fruto y
And
mantenerse.
who is the fruit for?
¿Y para quién es el fruto?
Is the fruit for yourself?
¿Es el fruto para ti?
No, so that the world around you
Para que el mundo alrededor tuyo,
can see his kingdom
para poder ver su reino
manifested
manifestarse
through you
por ti
on this earth.
en la tierra.
And then verse 17, almost as if Jesus is like, "Look, I cannot make this any more clear.
Es como diciendo Jesús, no puedo hacer esto más claro.
I cannot stress this enough."
Yo no puedo hacer énfasis en esto más.
He says, "These things I command you,
Esto yo lo mando,
that you love one another."
que tú ames, que se amen uno al otro.
Now look, just sidebar. I personally am not a fan
Esto es aparte. Yo no soy un fan
of preachers that stand at the pulpit and they say, "Turn to your neighbor and tell your neighbor blah, 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 blah," right?
de predicadores que están en el púlpito y le dicen, háblale a tu vecino y dile a tu vecino esto y esto.
But as I stand here
Pero como yo estoy parado aquí
and I see all these faces looking at me,
y veo todas estas caras viéndome,
I just kind of I think I understand why they do that now. I think they just want to make sure that you're paying attention,
yo entiendo por qué ellos hacen eso,
and
quieren
that you're
asegurarse
really,
que tú estás
that
poniendo
you're really
atención
hearing what they're saying.
y que tú estés oyendo lo que estás diciendo.
So in an effort of making sure you're actually paying attention, do me a favor.
Un esfuerzo para que ustedes estén poniendo atención. Háganme un favor.
I want you to look to your left and look to your right,
Quiero que vean a su derecha y a su izquierda.
and whichever person is closest to you, turn to that person
Y cualquier persona que esté más cerca de ti, mira a esa persona
and tell them, "I think he's about to get deep."
y díganle, él va a ir más profundo.
All right, so I can see who's paying attention. Thank you.
Puedo ver quién está poniendo atención. Gracias.
Listen,
Oigan.
when it comes to the fruit of the Spirit,
Cuando estamos hablando del fruto del Espíritu,
all right, I'm going to pass it out to you again. Love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control.
amor, gozo, paz, sufrimiento, amabilidad, bondad, fe, control propio
It's
y
really,
gentileza.
it's really one fruit
Es un fruto
manifested 9 ways.
manifestado en 9 formas.
But that's a different preaching. We ain't going to talk about that right
Pero eso es
now.
algo diferente, no vamos a hablar de eso en este momento.
But the question I have for you is,
Pero la pregunta que yo tengo para ustedes,
of all of that, why is love the only one that Jesus commands of us?
¿por qué amor es el único que Jesús manda como un mandamiento para nosotros?
He never commands us to have joy,
Él nunca nos dice que
never
tengamos gozo,
commands us to have goodness,
no nos da la orden de que tengamos
doesn't even
paz
really command us to have self-control.
o control propio.
But he has commanded us in this passage more than once.
Pero Él nos ha ordenado en este versículo más de una vez,
It's not a request,
no es una opción,
it's not a suggestion,
no una sugerencia,
but it is a repeated command
pero es una orden repetitiva
that we love.
que amemos.
Why?
¿Por qué? ¿Por qué?
Because love
Porque amor
is the key.
es la llave.
Love is the key. It is not by chance.
Amor es la llave, no es coincidencia.
It's not a chance or a coincidence that the fruit of the Spirit manifested 9 ways begins with love
No es una coincidencia de que la forma en que el fruto del Espíritu se manifiesta comienza con amor
and ends with self-control.
y termina con control propio.
Because God is a God of order.
Porque Dios es un Dios de orden.
And love is the key. So without love,
Y el amor es la llave. Sin amor
you can't see the rest.
no puede ver lo demás.
Love unlocks the rest.
El amor abre lo demás.
How can you show kindness
¿Cómo puedes ser amable
if you have no love?
si no tienes amor?
How can you be good to a person?
¿Cómo puedes ser bueno con una persona?
How can you be gentle?
¿Cómo puedes ser gentil?
How can you even have self-control
¿Cómo te puedes controlar a ti mismo
without love?
sin amor?
You see, love is
Amor
the key.
es la llave.
And just to kind of make sure you're still with me, all right? Remember the left and the right?
Asegurándome que todavía están conmigo.
look-
¿Se acuerdan de la izquierda y la derecha?
Look now to the person furthest from you, left or right,
Miren a la persona que está más lejos de ti
and ask them,
y pregúntenle,
where do you abide?
¿dónde tú vives?
Oh, I hear more people this time.
Oigo más personas.
I think you guys are with me right now.
Yo creo que están conmigo.
Listen,
Oigan,
if Jesus is our friend, and he says, I'm your friend,
si Jesús es nuestro amigo y Él dice, Él es nuestro amigo,
there's a pretty good chance that his enemy is our enemy.
es muy probable que su enemigo es nuestro enemigo.
Actually, it's pretty definite,
Es definitivo.
right? So our enemy
Nuestro enemigo
knows
sabe
and understands
y entiende
the power
el poder
of true love.
del el amor verdadero.
And because of
Y
this,
por esto,
he has done everything in his power
Él ha hecho todo en su poder
to mess with what our vision of love is.
para distorsionar nuestra visión de amor.
He's even perverted love.
Lo ha pervertido.
He has us and young people thinking that love is something that you make
Él le está diciendo a las personas jóvenes que el amor es algo que tú haces
in bed
en la cama
with someone else
con alguien más,
who doesn't necessarily have to be of the opposite sex, by the way.
que no necesariamente tiene que ser del sexo opuesto.
He has perverted
Lo ha pervertido
love
el amor
so that we don't understand the true power
para que nosotros no entendamos el verdadero poder
beyond that comes with love.
que viene con amor.
And then what happens?
¿Y qué sucede?
You find failed relationships
Encuentras relaciones que no sirven,
because they didn't really understand what love is.
relaciones que fracasan porque ellos no entienden realmente lo que es el
Or they
amor,
start bickering and arguing amongst themselves.
que comienzan a discutir entre ellos.
And says, you don't love me.
Tú no me amas,
No, I never loved you.
yo nunca te amé,
And you have broken relationships,
y tienen relaciones que se rompen,
failed marriages,
matrimonios que fracasan,
fatherless children,
hijos sin padres.
right? Fatherless. How many people do you know that are really out there,
¿Cuántas personas tú conoces que andan por el mundo,
way out there, right? You go, oh, they're way out there.
que están pasados,
Whether they're drug addicts or
que son drogadictos,
prostitution or
prostitutas.
whatever you consider to be way out there.
todo lo que tú consideras que está más allá?
If you know any of them personally,
Si los conoces personalmente,
what is the relationship with their father?
¿cuál es la relación con su padre?
Right? So love is perverted.
El amor es pervertido.
So listen,
Oigan,
I want to wrap this up for you guys. I got good news and I got bad news.
tengo buenas y malas noticias.
Who wants to hear the good news first?
¿Quién quiere oír las buenas noticias
There are
primero?
a couple people. Who wants to hear the bad news first?
¿Quién quiere oír las malas noticias
So
primero?
I'm like you.
Yo soy como ustedes.
Like when people say, yo, I got good news and I got bad news. What do
Cuando
you
me
want to
dicen
hear
tengo
first?
noticias buenas y malas, ¿qué quieres oír primero?
I'm like, hit me with the bad news.
Dígame las malas noticias primero.
Why? Because I know I might not like it.
Yo sé que no me va a gustar,
But when this conversation is over, we'll be good because it'll be good news, right?
pero cuando esta conversación termine van a ser buenas noticias.
So with that in mind, for those who wanted to hear the good news first, I'm sorry. I'm going to hit you with the bad.
Pero los que querían oír las noticias buenas primero, lo siento, pero les voy a dar las malas noticias primero.
So the bad news
La mala noticia es
is that there are consequences
que hay consecuencias
for disobeying
de desobedecer
this command
este mandamiento
to love one another.
de amarse uno al otro,
This command to unselfishly seek the best
De-
for one another.
de buscar lo mejor del uno al otro.
If you decide that I just can't do it,
Si tú decides yo no lo puedo hacer
or I'm just not going to do it,
o yo no lo voy a hacer,
there are consequences.
hay consecuencias.
And the first consequence of it is
Y la primera consecuencia de esto es
that you would be disconnected.
que tú vas a estar desconectado.
You will be disconnected from your life source.
Tú vas a ser desconectado de lo que te da vida.
You see, Jesus says that I am the vine and you are the branches,
Jesús dice, yo soy la vid y tú eres la rama.
and the branches can't bear fruit without the vine.
Y las ramas no pueden procrear frutos sin la vid.
So if you don't abide in that vine, if you don't abide in Christ, you can't bear fruit.
Si tú no vives en Cristo, tú no puedes dar frutos.
If you don't allow Christ to abide in you,
Si tú no permites que Cristo vive en ti,
then you're leaving yourself open for something else to abide in you.
tú estás dejando la puerta abierta para que algo más viva en ti.
See, we're a spirit,
Somos un
and
espíritu
our spirits need to be filled.
y nuestros espíritus necesitan estar llenos.
And either they're going to be filled by Christ,
Van a ser llenos de Cristo
or we're going to allow it to be filled by something else.
o vamos a dejar que estén llenos de otra cosa.
And things happen in your life,
Y cosas suceden en tu vida
and you get sad,
y tú te entristeces
and you start to abide in sadness.
y tú comienzas a permanecer en tristeza.
You know, my father passed away when I was a lot younger,
Mi padre falleció cuando yo estaba bien joven
and when he passed away, it was a big shock to us
y cuando él falleció fue un shock
because he was doing better, he was doing well, he had just had a kidney transplant, he was in the hospital recovering.
Él estaba muy bien, le acababan de hacer un trasplante de riñón y él estaba mejorando, él estaba en el hospital mejorando.
It was a time in my life that I remember
Era un tiempo en mi vida que yo recuerdo,
that I was finally really having some good conversations with the man.
finalmente yo tenía buenas conversaciones con ese hombre.
He was stuck in this bed and he could not walk away.
Él estaba en esta cama y él no podía salir.
So I was able to ask him every question that I ever wondered in my life.
Yo le pude hacer todas las preguntas que yo pude pensar en mi vida
And we got a lot of things out on the table.
y resolvimos varias cosas.
And we resolved many things. And then he just, one morning,
Y
he
de ahí,
died.
una mañana, él ya no estaba ahí.
And I was sad.
Yo estaba triste,
But I did not live or abide in that sadness.
pero yo no me mantuve en esa tristeza.
Sometimes people just really get under our skin.
A veces hay gente que nos saca de quicio
And we get angry.
y nos enojamos.
We get just upset because of something that they did or said to us.
Y nos enojamos por algo que ellos hicieron o nos dijeron.
Sometimes it's things that we've been dealing with for years.
Hay cosas que alguien nos dijo hace muchos años
And we start to get bitter.
y comenzamos a amargarnos.
When we even think of that person, we just get so bitter.
Y cuando pensamos de esa persona, nos amarga el día.
I can't believe that woman did me the way she did me. She took all my money.
Yo no puedo creer que esa mujer me hizo eso, se llevó todo mi dinero.
I can't believe that man knocked me up and left me with 3 kids to raise on my own.
Yo no puedo creer que ese hombre me embarazó y me dejó con 3 niños.
And we just get so bitter on the inside.
Y dentro de ti estás con esa amargura.
These are some of the things you open yourself up to
Estas son una de las cosas que tú abres la puerta.
when you make the decision
Cuando tú tomas la decisión
to disobey the commandment.
de desobedecer el mandamiento.
We live in self-pity.
Vivimos en
You
autocompasión.
just don't understand
Tú
what
no,
I've been through.
tú no entiendes lo que a mí me ha pasado.
Or sometimes it's fear.
Y a veces es miedo.
You're afraid to move on.
Tú tienes miedo de seguir adelante.
You're afraid to apply for that nice job because I just may not have what it takes.
Tienes miedo de aplicar a ese trabajo porque no tienes lo que ellos necesitan.
The Bible says that there is no fear in love
La Biblia dice que no hay temor en amor,
because fear comes with torment.
porque el miedo, el temor viene con tormento.
This is why I'm not a fan of like scary movies and haunted houses.
Por eso es que a mí no me gustan las películas de miedo o las casas embrujadas.
Now, when I was younger, when I didn't know any better, man,
Cuando
I
yo no
loved
sabía,
scary movies.
cuando estaba joven, a mí me encantaba todo eso.
But what I did not realize is that I was allowing fear
Pero yo lo que no realicé es que estaba dejando que el miedo
enter into my spirit.
entrara en mi espíritu.
And if God says, I have not given you a spirit of fear.
Si Dios dice, yo no te he dado un espíritu de miedo,
So if the spirit of fear doesn't come from God,
si el espíritu de miedo no viene de Dios,
then obviously it comes from our enemy.
Obviamente viene de nuestro enemigo.
And God cannot dwell in the same place of his enemy.
Y Dios no puede estar en el mismo lugar que su enemigo.
So when you don't abide in love, you are opening yourselves up for something else. You become disconnected.
Cuando tú no estás viviendo en amor, tú te desconectas.
The second thing that happens when you make the decision that I just can't love that person,
La segunda cosa que sucede cuando tú no puedes amar a esa persona,
after you become disconnected,
después de estar desconectado,
you start to wither up.
tú te comienzas a marchitar.
You start to wither up.
Te comienzas a
I
marchitar.
have this tree in my backyard.
Yo tengo este árbol en la parte de atrás de mi
Huge
casa,
tree.
un árbol bien grande,
It's a beautiful tree.
es precioso.
I thank God for the tree because it brings me shade in the summertime.
Yo le doy gracias por ese árbol porque me trae sombra en el verano.
However, I've noticed in the last 6 years that I've been living in this home that this tree has really expanded.
En los últimos 6 años, este árbol se ha expandido.
And I noticed this summer that this tree, like the branches were like bumping up against my house.
Este verano me di cuenta de que las ramas estaban tocando mi casa.
And other branches above it like were way over my roof,
Y
dropping whatever.
otras ramas estaban sobre mi techo.
And so I had to trim this tree back a little bit to kind of get it away from my house.
Lo tuve que cortar un poco para alejarlo de la casa.
Because I know that tree is strong and it has a lot of life and it might start going through the walls.
Yo sé que ese árbol es fuerte y tiene bastante vida y puede ser que penetre las paredes.
So I spent the whole Saturday like trimming back this tree, just cutting off all those extra long branches that really just didn't need to be there.
Todo un sábado comencé a cortar este árbol que no tenía que tener esas ramas,
Without sacrificing the wonderful shade that I was thanking God for,
sin sacrificar la sombra que le estoy dando gracias a Dios,
that I get to put my hammock under.
que puedo poner mi hamaca debajo.
But those tree branches, I gathered them all up and I put them in a flower bed that basically was just growing weeds.
Esas ramas las puse en medio del patio
And I noticed that about 3 days later,
y me di cuenta que 3 días después,
that those beautiful green leaves that was on this tree
que esas hojas verdes que estaban en esas ramas
were withering up.
se estaban secando,
They were drying out
se estaban marchitando,
because they were no longer connected to the life source.
porque no estaban conectados a lo que le daba vida.
And that's exactly what happens to you when you decide
Eso es exactamente lo que sucede contigo cuando tú decides
that you can't abide in love.
que tú no puedes vivir, morar en el
You're
amor.
disconnected from that life source, so
Tú
you
te
start to wither up.
te desconectas de lo que te da vida y te comienzas a marchitar.
And what happens when you're all withered up?
¿Y qué sucede cuando estás marchito?
The Bible says, Jesus says, you're only good to be gathered up and burned.
La Biblia dice que tú solo sirves para quemarte.
You have no other value,
Tú no tienes otro valor,
just like my branches in the backyard.
así como las ramas en la parte de atrás de mi casa.
So you become disconnected,
Te desconectas,
you start to wither up.
te comienzas a marchitar.
And the third thing,
Y lo tercero,
after anger and bitterness starts to turn into hate, that's where you're withering up.
la amargura se comienza a convertir en odio.
You know, that sadness, that self-pity,
Esa tristeza, esa autocompasión,
as you're withering up,
así como cuando te comienzas a marchitar,
it becomes depression.
se comienza a convertir en depresión.
So it becomes something bigger,
Se comienza a convertir en algo más grande,
something darker.
algo más oscuro.
That fear,
Ese miedo,
like maybe you just go and like you see something scary, like, oh, it scares you right away.
tú ves algo que da miedo y te da miedo rápido.
But then you start to build up a tolerance for fear
Y de ahí comienzas a crecer en tolerancia hacia el miedo,
because there's more fear in you.
porque hay más miedo, más temor dentro de ti.
Fear is starting to consume you
El temor, el miedo te comienza a consumir
as you're withering up.
mientras te estás secando, marchitando.
So what happens after that? What's the third thing?
¿Qué es lo que sucede después de eso? ¿Cuál es la tercera cosa?
The third consequence,
La tercera consecuencia,
after you're disconnected,
después de estar desconectado,
after you're withered up,
después de estar seco,
after you're just gathered up to be burned because there's no other value,
después de que está todo reunido solo para quemarse porque no tiene otro valor,
the Bible says that he who does not love his brother abides in death.
la Biblia dice que quien no ama a sus hermanos mora en muerte.
There's nothing left.
No hay nada que quede.
You die.
tú moriste,
spiritually and physically.
espiritual y físicamente.
You know, physically, did you know that years of unforgiveness, that person that just did that most horrible thing to you, that you know what, God, I can love everybody in this world, but I can't love that person because of what they've done to me.
Físicamente, cuando tú no perdonas a alguien, cuando tú te pones en la posición de que yo puedo amar a todos, pero no a esa persona por lo que me hizo.
That unforgiveness starts to manifest in illnesses.
Si no perdonas, eso se comienza a manifestar en enfermedades.
All of a sudden, your body is so weak.
De repente tu cuerpo está tan débil.
You're sick and you can't understand why.
Tú estás enfermo y no puedes entender por qué.
You start to look really aged
Tú te comienzas a ver bien viejo,
because you're holding all of this inside your spirit.
porque todo eso tú lo estás manteniendo en tu espíritu
And it begins to manifest in
y
your
se
flesh.
comienza a manifestar en tu carne.
And spiritually,
Y espiritualmente,
you also die.
tú mueres.
All of a sudden, you're like, man, I can't pray today.
Tú comienzas, yo no puedo orar
I'm not
ahora.
reading the Bible today.
Yo no estoy leyendo la Biblia el día de
It
hoy.
just says all this stuff that I really don't believe or understand.
Dice todo esto que yo no creo y yo no entiendo.
Maybe you were going to church regularly, but then it just really started hitting you. What am I even bothering for?
Tú estabas yendo a la iglesia y te comienza a pegar y ¿para qué hacerlo?
And you hold on to that pain
Y tú te mantienes en ese dolor
and that bitterness
y esa amargura,
and that pain and that anger
ese dolor, ese enojo,
and that depression that
esa
you've
depresión
allowed
que tú has dejado que entre,
to abide in you
que viva en ti,
because you did not choose to abide in love
porque tú no tomaste la decisión de vivir en amor.
completely consumes you
Te consume completamente
and you die.
y tú mueres.
And I know that's heavy, right?
Yo sé que eso es pesado.
Let me be clear of something too. I mean,
Quiero aclararles algo.
you might be like, oh, I'm cool, Lord. I love my brothers, all my
Yo-
brothers.
Yo estoy bien, pero yo amo a todos mis hermanos.
But my sister,
Pero mi hermana
it's not just talking about your brothers.
no solamente está hablando de tus
As a
hermanos,
fact, he's not even just talking about your family.
no solamente está hablando de tu familia.
All right, this passage, some passages of it says, love one another.
Otros versículos dicen, amen uno a otro.
This includes all people,
Esto incluye a todos,
all human beings.
todos seres humanos.
He is talking about people.
Él está hablando de seres humanos, de la
The
gente.
Bible says, how can you say you love God who you have not seen, but you don't love your brother who you see?
La Biblia dice, ¿cómo puedes decir que tú amas a Dios a quien no has visto, pero no puedes amar a tu hermano a quien ves?
How can you love your God who you have never seen, but you hate the father of your child?
¿Cómo puedes amar a Dios que nunca has visto, pero tú odias el padre de tus hijos?
Or you hate that coworker who passed you up on a job that he knew you were going for?
O tú odias ese compañero de trabajo que te quitó la promoción.
Or you really can't stand that neighbor because they play that loud music over there all the time and it keeps you up at night?
O tú no puedes, no soportas a ese vecino porque toca música fuerte.
Or you hate your ex-wife who not only have you seen, but you've actually even been intimate with her at some point in your life.
O tú odias a tu ex esposa que no solamente la has visto, pero has sido íntimo con ella
Because what she's done to you.
porque lo que ella te ha hecho.
That's heavy.
Eso es pesado.
And I didn't expect any amen, so it's okay.
Y yo no estaba esperando ningún amén.
But check it out, the bad news is over.
Pero las malas noticias, con eso termino.
So tap the person in front of you
Pero díganle a la persona
On the
enfrente de
shoulder.
ti, en el hombro,
and tell them,
y díganle,
okay, here comes the good news. Though.
aquí vienen las buenas noticias.
All right, the good news
Las buenas noticias,
is that there are benefits.
que hay beneficios.
There are benefits
Hay beneficios
to obeying the command,
de obedecer el
to love
mandamiento,
one another,
de amarse el uno al otro,
to deciding to abide in love,
para decidir de
to
vivir en amor,
unselfishly seek the best
para buscar lo mejor
for others,
para otros,
just as Jesus has loved us.
así como Jesús nos ha amado a nosotros.
What are those benefits?
¿Cuáles son esos
First
beneficios?
of all, you need to understand that God is love.
Tienen que entender que Dios es amor.
And that word is,
Y esa palabra es,
in mathematics, it's like the equal sign.
en matemáticas es el símbolo de igualdad.
And if you're good at math or if you're not good at math, it's a pretty simple thought here. God equals love. God is love.
No importa que no sea bueno en las matemáticas, Dios es amor. Dios es igual al amor.
And no
Amor
matter
es
what
Dios.
side that you put anything on an equal sign, it is the same thing.
No importa qué lado del símbolo de igualdad esté, es lo mismo.
Perfect love is God.
Amor perfecto es Dios.
God is love.
Amor es Dios.
1 and 2 is 3.
1 y 2 es 3.
No matter what, you can't get a new answer. Even if you change the numbers around, say 2 and 1 is still 3.
No importa si tú lo cambias.
5 is 5. Are you with me here?
5 es 5. ¿Me entienden?
Equals.
Igual.
So what is the point? Well, that means that if you abide in love,
¿Cuál es el punto? Eso significa que si tú vives en amor,
then that means you abide in God.
eso significa que tú vives en Dios.
And once you have decided to abide in Him,
Y cuando tú decides de morar en Él,
you are opening your spirit for Him to come and abide in you.
tú estás abriendo tu espíritu para que Él viva en ti.
You're allowing Him
Tú le estás permitiendo
to abide in you.
que Él viva en ti.
Because He's not going to muscle His way in.
Porque Él no va a forzarse.
He's a gentleman.
Él es un caballero.
But if you say, Lord, I want to abide in you,
Pero si tú le dices, Dios, yo quiero vivir en ti.
I want to abide in your love,
Yo quiero vivir en tu amor.
then He says, okay, now you're ready for me.
Él dice, oh, estás listo para
Now
mí.
I can abide in you.
Ahora puedo vivir en ti.
And God is almighty.
Y Dios es todopoderoso.
God is all power.
Él tiene todo el poder.
And He gives you all power against the works of our enemy
Y Él te da todo el poder en contra de los trabajos del enemigo.
when He is abiding in you.
Cuando Él está viviendo en ti.
And then what happens?
¿Y qué sucede después?
As He's abiding in you,
Mientras Él vive en ti,
He starts to shine His perfect light on all those little dark areas in your spirit.
Él comienza a alumbrar todas esas áreas oscuras en tu espíritu.
And He'll shine a light on some sadness that you've been holding on to for 10 years and says, this is not me.
Él comienza a alumbrar en esa tristeza que tú te has mantenido por 10 años. Y Él te dice, ese no soy yo.
As He's cleaning house, He says, I can't live with this.
Él comienza a limpiar la casa y Él te dice, yo no puedo vivir en esto.
This has to go.
Esto se tiene que ir.
And you have to make the decision, okay, Lord, I want more of you, so let me get this out so I can get more full of you.
Y tú tienes que tomar la decisión, yo quiero más de ti, tengo que sacar esto para llenarme de ti.
And all the hidden things are
Y
exposed
todas las cosas ocultas son expuestas.
because He will not abide in a dirty house.
Porque Él no va a estar en una casa sucia.
What else? What else? Tell me more benefits.
Dime más beneficios.
The second benefit
El segundo beneficio
of making the decision to abide in love
de tomar la decisión de vivir en amor,
is that you can have everything that you desire.
que tú vas a tener todo lo que tú deseas.
Jesus says that if you abide in me
Jesús dice, si tú vives en mí
and my words abide in you,
y mi palabra vive en ti,
you will ask for whatever you desire
tú vas a pedir todo lo que tú deseas
and it will be done for you.
y va a ser hecho para ti.
He says somewhere else that whatever you ask in my name,
Dice en otro lugar, lo que tú pides en mi nombre,
that I will do.
yo lo voy a hacer.
Why? So that my Father is glorified.
¿Por qué? Para que mi Padre sea glorificado.
Anything you ask,
Cualquier cosa que tú pidas,
I will do.
yo lo voy a hacer.
Now don't get it twisted.
No lo malinterpreten.
That doesn't mean you can, oh Lord, yeah, I'm asking for $1 million. Boom.
O que Dios no es un genio de la lámpara.
He
Que
is
quiero
not
un
a
millón
genie
de
in a
dólares.
bottle. Very nice.
Yo quiero $1 millón y te lo da.
He's not a genie in a bottle.
Él no es un genio.
But when you are abiding in love
Pero cuando tú estás morando, viviendo en amor,
and you abide in Christ
y tú vives en Cristo,
and you've allowed Christ to come and abide in
y
you.
tú has dejado que Cristo vive en ti,
Now we're not talking about a summer vacation like in Marathon, Florida. We're
No
talking
estamos hablando
about
de una
abide, to
vacación.
live there.
estamos hablando de vivir.
When He lives there,
Cuando Él vive ahí,
when He has taken permanent residence in your spirit,
cuando Él ha tenido una residencia permanente en tu espíritu,
it's like what the pastor was speaking on Wednesday.
es lo que el pastor está hablando el
You
miércoles.
say, Lord, I want more of you and less of me.
Yo quiero más de ti y menos de mí.
And as He fills you up with Him and there's less of you there,
Entre más Él te llena de Él y es menos de ti,
you are unselfishly thinking and seeking for the best in someone else
tú estás pensando generosamente y viendo lo mejor en alguien más.
because that's who He is.
Porque eso es lo que Él es.
And so whatever you ask for,
Cualquier cosa que tú pidas,
you can have
tú la vas a tener.
because you're not going to be asking for selfish things
Porque tú no vas a estar pidiendo cosas con egoísmo.
because it's no longer you,
Porque no es de ti.
but He
Pero Él,
who lives in you.
que vive en ti,
What's the third?
¿cuál es la tercera cosa?
The third
El tercer beneficio
of abiding in love.
de vivir en amor.
If you look up chapter 15, verse 11 of John again,
Si ven en Juan 15:11,
Jesus says, "These things I have spoken to you, that my joy may remain in you."
Estas cosas os he hablado para que mi gozo esté en vosotros y vuestro gozo sea cumplido.
So that my joy may remain.
Que mi gozo se mantenga.
Not that so that my joy will be that vacation home, but that it stays there.
No solamente que ese gozo va a ser una vacación, pero que se mantenga ahí.
That means my joy can't leave because it stays there.
Eso significa que mi gozo no se puede ir porque vive ahí,
In you.
en ti.
Not happiness.
No felicidad.
Because if you're around here from time to time, you will hear our pastors talk about happiness versus joy.
Si tú vienes constantemente, tú vas a oír a los pastores hablar de gozo y felicidad.
Happiness, the outward manifestation of things happening in your life,
Felicidad es la manifestación de cosas que suceden alrededor de tu vida,
which is completely different than joy, that is within you.
que es completamente diferente del gozo que está dentro de
That
ti.
it doesn't matter what's going on in your life, your joy can't be moved.
Que no importa lo que esté sucediendo en tu vida, que tu gozo no se puede mover.
Your father can pass away,
Tu padre puede morir,
but your joy remains.
pero el gozo se mantiene.
Sure, you might be sad.
Tal vez puede estar triste.
You might even cry all night.
Tú vas a llorar toda la noche.
And like the Bible says, that weeping might endure for a night.
Como la Biblia dice, vamos a estar tristes por una noche.
Oh, but joy,
Pero el gozo
it comes in the morning.
viene en la mañana.
That means from night to day, that joy is still there.
Eso significa que de día y noche ese gozo se mantiene ahí.
You might receive joy on Sunday.
Tú puedes recibir gozo el domingo.
Hallelujah, praise God.
Aleluya, alaba a Dios.
I receive that.
Yo recibo eso.
And then you go home to reality,
Y tú vas a casa a la realidad.
and your teenager is bumping heads with you.
Y tu adolescente te está hablando mal.
Or you go home to reality and you start arguing with your wife again.
O tú vas a la realidad y comienzas a discutir con tu
And you
esposa.
forgot all about this joy that you just had Sunday morning.
Y tú te olvidas de este gozo que tú tuviste el domingo.
Or you get to work and that coworker that just really tries to get under your skin, like he does it on purpose.
O esa compañera, llegas al trabajo y esa compañera de trabajo te
You
saca de
might feel
quicio.
like your joy might be fading a little bit.
Tú sientes que tu gozo se está yendo.
But let me tell you something. The Bible says that the joy of the Lord is your strength.
La Biblia dice que el gozo en el Señor es tu fuerza.
You know, that song, More Love, More Power, is not just a song.
Esa canción, Más amor, más poder,
It's not just a song. If you fill yourself with His love,
no solamente es una canción, si tú te llenas de su amor,
you're abiding in Him.
tú estás viviendo en Él,
So He's abiding in you.
Él está viviendo en ti,
So His joy might remain in you.
que su gozo se mantenga en
So
ti.
the more love,
Entre más
the
amor,
more strength.
más
The
fuerza,
more love,
más amor,
the more
más
power.
poder.
It's not temporary.
No es temporal.
And He also says in verse 11,
Y también en el verso 11,
not only so that His joy remains in you.
no solamente que su gozo se mantenga en ti,
Look again.
miren otra vez,
He says, and
y
also,
también
in addition to my joy remaining in you,
en adición de mi gozo estando en ti,
abiding in love
viviendo en amor,
will allow that your joy may be full.
va a permitir que tu gozo esté lleno.
And this, my friends, is the fundamental truth that our enemy does not want us to understand.
Y esa es la verdad fundamental que nuestro enemigo no quiere que entendamos.
Fullness of
Lleno,
joy.
llenos de gozo,
To be completely full.
de estar completamente lleno.
Do you know when you're full,
Cuando tú estás lleno,
there's no room for anything else?
no hay lugar para nada más.
Have you really gone to a buffet, and you just really did it to the most to where you was full?
Has ido a un buffet y has comido y te has comido todo y estás completamente lleno.
And then you go visit somebody's house and they offer you your favorite dessert that you know that they throw down on.
Y vas a la casa de alguien y te ofrecen tu postre favorito y tú sabes que es la especialidad de ellos.
And you're like, man, I'm so full. Can
Y
I
tú-
just take it with me later? I can't do it right now.
Y tú dices, estoy tan lleno, me lo puedo llevar a casa y lo puedo hacer después.
There is no room for nothing else when you are full.
No hay lugar para nada más cuando estás lleno.
You see, if you're only 80% full,
Si tú solamente tienes 80%,
then you have this 20% gap
tienes ese 20%
that something else is able to fill up.
que otra cosa puede llegar a eso.
Lord, I love everybody around me. I love everybody I run into. I love everybody.
Yo los amo a todos, amo todo al que me encuentro.
I look for the best for everyone.
Yo veo lo mejor o lo bueno en todos.
But this person right here,
Pero esta persona aquí,
I'm cool if they just drop dead.
a mí no me importa si se mueren.
I got no love for them.
Yo no tengo amor para ellos.
That's that 20%.
Ese es el
And let me
20%.
tell you something.
Y déjeme decirles algo.
Our enemy,
Nuestro enemigo,
his enemy,
el enemigo de él,
he specializes
él se especializa
in filling in the gaps.
en llenar esos pedazos.
You leave that 20% open,
Tú dejas que ese 20% esté vacío.
and he sees opportunity.
Él ve oportunidad.
Even if you left 10%,
Inclusive si tú dejas 10%,
you can leave 2.
puedes dejar 2.
That's just enough for him to whisper in your ear.
Eso es suficiente para que él susurre en tu oído.
How many boyfriends have you had?
¿Cuántos novios has tenido?
Do you really think that somebody wants you forever?
¿Tú crees que alguien te quiere para siempre?
You are not worth a lifetime with anyone.
Tú no te mereces estar con alguien toda una vida.
That's all it takes.
Eso es lo que toma.
And then now you feel like nobody's ever gonna love me.
Y tú sientes, nadie me va a amar.
Don't leave room for anything else. Be full.
No dejes espacio para nada más. Tienes
Of
que estar
his
lleno.
joy.
Tienes que estar lleno de su gozo.
And you know what's also awesome when you are full?
Tú sabes que es maravilloso cuando tú estás lleno.
You ever had a cup of water that's completely full to the brim?
Tú has tenido un vaso de agua que está totalmente lleno.
Like so full that if you dropped one drop, it'll start to seep over the sides?
Tan lleno que con una gota se sale.
That is you.
Ese eres tú.
When you have fullness of his joy.
Cuando tú estás completamente lleno de su gozo.
When you have allowed him to come and abide in you completely.
Cuando tú has dejado que Él esté en ti completamente.
When you've allowed him to shine the light in your spirit of everything that is not of him.
Cuando tú has dejado que Él alumbre en todo lo que no es de Él.
When you say, okay, God, thank you for showing me that. Let's get that out of here.
Cuando tú dices, gracias Señor por enseñarme eso, déjeme sacarlo de aquí.
Yes, Lord, let me get that broom. Let's sweep that out the front door.
Déjame agarrar la escoba y saquémoslo de esta
That
casa.
unforgiveness that I've had for him, Lord, you're right. I didn't really realize it was there holding me back. Let's get that out of here.
Dios, es sin perdonar, yo no sabía eso, pero saquémoslo de acá.
That bitterness, that hatred, you're right, God, it's gone.
Esa amargura, ese odio, tienes razón que
And
se
as you
salga.
get rid of all these things that are not of him,
Y cuando tú te deshaces de todo eso que no es de Él,
and he fills you up to the brim,
y Él te llena al tope,
and you are completely full,
y estás totalmente lleno,
as you move around,
cuando tú te comienzas a mover,
you start splashing.
el gozo de Él comienza a
Everybody
salir.
around you is getting a drip.
Todos alrededor tuyo comienzan a sentir ese gozo.
Everybody around you is getting some of that joy that you have.
Todos que están alrededor tuyo comienzan a sentir ese gozo.
And they look at you and they're like, man, something is so different about
Y
you.
te ven y ves algo diferente en ti.
And maybe you can't even explain that it's the joy that's full inside of me.
Y tal vez no puedes explicar qué es el gozo que está lleno dentro de mí.
And when you have fullness of joy, even though it's splashing out amongst everybody around you, God keeps filling it.
Y cuando estás completamente lleno del gozo del Señor, aunque lo estás sacando, Él lo sigue llenando.
You ever seen those cups that you go like this and it looks like it pours out and it's completely empty and you set it down and it fills back up again, bloop, 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 right? You ever seen those cups? You know what I'm talking about?
¿Has visto esos vasos que cuando tú los pones, se ve como que si se está saliendo y cuando tú lo vuelves a poner se ve completamente lleno?
That is you. That is your spirit. You could empty yourself. You could empty yourself amongst everybody around you.
Ese es tu espíritu. Tú te puedes vaciar alrededor de todos.
You can share your joy with all those around you and they could feel that joy upon them.
Tú puedes compartir tu gozo con todos y ellos pueden sentir ese gozo.
But when you reset yourself, God keeps filling you up.
Pero cuando te reseteas, el Señor te comienza a llenar.
That is fullness of joy. It cannot go away.
Eso es la llenura del gozo. No se puede ir.
And when you are there,
Y cuando tú estás ahí,
when that is where you abide,
cuando tú vives en él,
when that is where you decided, Lord, this is where I am,
cuando tú tomaste esa decisión, aquí es donde yo
I'm going
estoy.
to abide right here in your fullness.
Yo aquí me quedo en tu llenura,
My friends,
mis amigos.
that is when the kingdom of God
Ahí es cuando el reino de Dios
is being manifested
se manifiesta
right here on this earth
aquí en la tierra
through you,
por medio de ti,
because that is what God wanted all along.
porque todo eso es lo que Dios quería.
He wants to fill you up.
Él quiere llenarte.
He wants to completely be in you
Él quiere estar completamente en ti
and you completely in him.
y tú completamente en Él,
That your every thought is what He wants of you.
que todo tu pensamiento es lo que Él quiere de ti,
That you unselfishly care for everyone else around you.
que tú eres generoso con todos los que están alrededor
And that's
tuyo.
what it looks like
Y así es como se ve
when the kingdom
cuando el reino
is here
está aquí,
on earth.
en la tierra.
And that,
Y eso,
for me,
para mí,
is what I appreciate most
es lo que yo más aprecio
about that man.
de ese hombre y esa mujer.
Amen.
Amén.
Done.
Amen. Let's stand to our feet, people.